Alright, I am in a state of confusion. 1 second here. I'll show you why. You can see how high the bed is from the rim, okay? Same drop, same shackle, same everything, even the same shocks. This side shock is blown out. And what I mean by that is, if I put my foot here, see, hard as a rock. It's blown out. Now this side, if I can get you a good clear view of it, is actually lower by quite a bit. Let me check the other side here. So you can see, yes, it is lower by about an inch, inch and a half. Now what's funny is this shock works. See, it has shock to it. Why are they different? I do not know. But for some reason, this side is higher. That corner of the bed is higher, which means it should be higher on the rim, but it's not, it's lower. This shock is blown out, so it's all the way down. That shock is good, so it's, in the middle, where it should be. I have no clue why. I can't figure it out yet, but I'm going to have to try. Dashboard's still out. This is my template for mounting my ECM under the dash, which I am going to try to mount it in that far corner. It's not a lot of room. It's deceiving because you think, hey, the dash goes from here to here, but it don't. The underside, this rain gutter actually swoops back and goes around. So, yeah, a little bit difficult to mount anything under the dash, especially if you're trying to get into the center area, the vents. Now, I originally come out here to put, the ECM and stuff in, but I'm really wanting to address this frame, or not frame, but suspension issue. I don't know if I put this side leaf hanger in the lower one by accident and it raised it, because if it did, I actually prefer the looks of this side of the truck. It sits right, the other side sits a little low, and it still looks like that bed is sitting backwards. Jeez. But these are the things I gotta figure out because it's annoying me to death. So, and the hard part is I really can't jack up the truck to see why, because it's almost everything goes straight. So I don't know if it's the ground I'm on or the truck's leaning or what, but I gotta figure it out. Alright, I believe I found my problem. Now if you want to look real far over to that side, you'll see the blue shock tube. Can you see it? Well, it is at a severely different angle than this one. This one is about up and down. Now, what I think's happening here is I'm on the driver's side of the truck, the one that's higher. And it's higher because this shock is completely bottomed out. And it's completely bottomed out because the actual shock has less stroke than that shock, because that shock has a more steep angle. So what I'm saying is the truck is probably perfectly fine, it's the shocks. And what I'm going to do is measure it, because it's 14 and something inches to complete bottom out. Now I'm going to try to do this with a single hand, and that's from center shock to center shock. I can't do it, but anyway, I believe the only problem here is this shock. It's holding the truck up, but at the same time, I actually like the driver's side, so I might raise the whole truck to the next hole down, which will lift the truck up about an inch and a half. Let's see here, center hole to center hole. Yep, inch and a half. Okay. But for now, I believe I figured that out, so I ain't gonna worry about it. Because I still have to get under here, pull off the diff cover, and pull out that mini spool because I hate it. The tires don't even move when this thing's up in the air. That's how tight that spool is. I don't like it. Already finished the brakes the other day. I've already got washers in here trying to make the back of the truck level. And then when I leveled it side to side is when it got all crazy. So I still have to do that. And yeah, put on some different shocks. But I think if this one's bottomed out and that one's not, I'd like to see what the stroke is on it, if it can do it. And if it can, I'm going to put a set of front shocks on the rear. But everything else is good. So in my haste, I forgot I still need to make my fuel lines up front. That's no biggie. But other than that, that purple wire you see right there, that's the fuel level gauge. Not worried about that. Don't really care. The other two over here, the gray wire, is actually the fuel on. It's what, you know, makes the fuel pump kick on. And the other one is the keyed 12 volt to the ECM. So literally, all I gotta do is run that one red wire through the firewall. I've already got the gray one actually hooked up and crimped and everything. I just don't have it ran through its sheathing, which I need to do still. And then I just gotta put a battery over here, figure out where my battery box is gonna sit, which I believe is about right here, and make sure I got enough power wire and ground wire to reach it. Once I do, I think I can potentially fire this thing up. Like, literally fire it up. So, I think I'll work on that first before I get to the dashboard. Alright, been out here sweating pretty fiercely. Got my columns wiring all hooked back up. Gray wire is my fuel pump. The red wire is my key on trigger. Yeah, that's it. I have another key on I have to do to trigger the fuel pump. Down here on the harness, see the little thin wire? I've got to find a keyed 12 volt, so when I turn the key on, it is on all the time. I have not done my fuel lines yet because, one, I don't know which one's the in and which one's the out. Intern and return. Inlet and return. There we go. Brain work. So I'm practically going to have to put the key in and, you know, put it on to see which one's which. The other thing I have to do, I believe I'm going to have to put a ground from the back of the head to that bolt right there, which is actually the ground bolt, and also part of the, what is it, the heater box. The battery, as I said, should sit in this general vicinity, and I believe I have more than enough cable to get to it. Even if I like cut it in half, like for the halfway mark on the line, I should have plenty of cable. So I'm gonna cut there, and I'm going to put on the ends like those, the copper lugs, and I am going to turn the key and see if this thing will crank. So let's do that now. Alright, so I still have to do plugs, plug wires, fuel lines, and one vacuum. But check this out. Battery's hooked up, ground's hooked up. Key after I get done breaking everything. That was the door. Key on. That's right. It cranks. Hey, my stereo kicked on too. That means everything, as far as the engine wiring and everything is concerned, is wired. What do you say we get this baby started today? Won't take much. Just a couple hours of work. Got my new TR55 plugs in. Getting ready to put on these thick boys right here with some boots and some dielectrical grease. The dielectrical grease makes sure none of the electrical energy gets out of the boot. That's what you want. So you'd put it on not only this end, but that end that goes in the coil. Keep all the power in, send it straight into the plug, shooting right out the exhaust. Easy peasy. Alrighty, I got the boots done, I got the plugs in, and I got the wires on. We're looking good. Oh, sorry, I got the hiccups. Yeah. All sexy. It's all about the details, and I am trying to think of a way to make some sort of cover to cover here. They don't really make anything, but it's like, this side would be easy. It would come off, it would bolt directly here and just cover everything. Easy peasy. That side, fuel lines are in the way. But depending on how thin you would actually get it, if, you know, you'd probably have to come off, up a little, and then over. But then there's nowhere to bolt it to the bottom unless you literally use just that hole. So I would like to cover them. That's the ugliest part of the engine, but everything else is golden. Now you can see I got some Scotch tape. Scotch tape works really good when you make your fuel lines because it's real thin tape. So gotta cut both of them, put my fittings on, which are on my fuel rail right now, bolt them together, click them into place, put my filler neck in, which is back there under the car. It's not hooked up to the tank. Go get some gas, pull the 0411 ECM out of the Caprice. Use it for now because it's already got VAT and speed density. This one is factory set, wherever it may be. Wherever I set it. It's in there somewhere. But this baby will fire in like an hour. So I'm taking my time. Just playing around, listening to some music, and we're going to get this baby fired up today. Them babies are made. Whew. Now I can't hook them up yet because I want to put gas in the tank and spew out any of the rubber or nylon or metal that could possibly be in there for where I cut them. The return, not so much caring about it, but the inlet, which I don't know which one's which right this second, I want to spray out any of the gas that could possibly be in there. So next step, let's put that filler neck on. Once the filler neck's on, I'll go get some gas, come back, put it in, hit it, let it squirt out. Well, not let it squirt out, I'll probably put a bottle on it or something. I don't want it all over the painted frame or motor or anything like that. Let it squirt out. After that, I'll know which one's my, before my phone rudely interrupted, I'll figure out which one's my inlet and return. Bolt them up accordingly to the fuel rail. Get the computer out of the Caprice. Hook up my powers. And guess what? It's gonna run. Ooh, I'm getting that pretty awesome hot rod feeling. Here we go. Let's see what happens.
water ports are smoking, and you got cobwebs all down inside of this one. Look.
Yeah, there's no water in it.
Yeah, no.
It fired right up though.
I heard it. Didn't take much, did it? Until it's an LS motor.